Hi, it's Andy with West Valley 411. In this video, we are going to repair the cause of a seeping sprinkler on an Orbit anti-siphon valve. So I've got some Rainbird sprinklers here, and you can see there's a constant flow of water coming out of the sprinkler, even though I haven't watered in a couple of weeks. So we're going to walk over to the anti-siphon valve and I will show you how to simply repair it. First of all, these are above ground as required, and we're going to take out the 8 screws here. You can do that with a drill with the right bit, or you can do it by hand with a Phillips screwdriver. Now, the reason we're going to replace this diaphragm is I already took it out and tried to clean the old one and get some debris. And there was a small amount of debris inside of it, but it didn't work, unfortunately. So I picked up this repair kit at Home Depot, $5.97. And for whatever reason, they give you 2. I wish they'd cut the cost in half and only give you 1. But this is the type that we need. It's basically plastic, rubber, and then a little bit of a framework here to hold the diaphragm in place. And if you look into the mechanism within the anti-siphon valve, there's a solenoid on top here that controls the flow of water from the water main to the sprinkler line. And one word of caution here, the wires on the solenoid are kind of a small gauge. So when you're twisting this off, you want to make sure that you're not putting too much pressure here on the base or over here at the nut so that the wire becomes detached. So what I'll do is I'll just take the screws out and then show you what it looks like inside, and we'll go from there. Just want to do a quick check of the valve parts and terminology. You can see on the left there is the lid subassembly with the solenoid, and then on the right side is the seal carrier and anti-siphon lid, just in case you need to purchase some parts separately. All right, after a very brief pause, got the screws taken out. And these are not like wood screws. They're pretty flat on the bottom because we're just attaching plastic to plastic. And I should have mentioned also, you're going to need to turn off your water main so you don't get splashed when you undo the screws. Okay, so let's look at what's underneath there. And maybe there's a... Okay, so we're going to set that aside. There's a spring. Take that out. There's a little flow control pin. Set that aside. And on top here, you can see on the other anti-siphon valves, if you turn this, it'll affect the high and low points on the diaphragm and how much water flows. So looking into that diaphragm, you can't really see any small tears. It's probably too small to notice with the eye or cracks. So we're just going to peel that off. That's what the bottom looks like. Honestly, I can't tell that there's much of a difference. And then looking down into the valve, looks pretty clean. What you can do is flush it out. So here we're going to turn small amounts so the water starts to bubble up. Flush it out, and as this turns, you can see all that pressure that the diaphragm keeps back when it's closed. Okay, so all you do is take the similar looking diaphragm and put it in. There's a little seat here, a little seat on the outer rim, so you just want to place that in. We're going to put the pin back. We're going to put the spring back, and then we're going to put the top back on, tighten up the screws. We'll let that area dry out, and we'll see if it works, if it gets wet again. So we'll come back. Okay, we have the parts reconnected. When you put the new diaphragm in, it's going to look like there's a gap here between the two parts because the diaphragm's new and it hasn't been pressed into place. So just turn those screws without a lot of force. I suggest doing it in kind of a star pattern so it begins to go back together equally. If you're going to use your drill to tighten them up, you can see on mine, I've got it on the lowest possible torque. It's down to really just 1. And then you can go back with your screwdriver and hand tighten those as needed, because these parts are plastic and you don't want to crack them. All right, we're going to wait a while for that water to evaporate. We'll turn on the water supply and see how it looks. All right, let's go check our sprinkler seepage. It was turned on overnight and it looks dry, so it was the diaphragm problem that was fixed. If replacing the diaphragm doesn't solve the problem, then you've probably got a crack in your siphon valve frame and you need to just replace the whole thing. It's about 17 bucks plus your time. So hope this helps. Good luck. Post any questions and I'll do what I can to answer them ASAP. Thanks for watching.